I am talking about onerous financing, in the opposite case to the previous one. In this type of situation, costs are incurred in advance of the debt. These costs come from operating commission, difficult interesting of warrants. For example, number one, bank loans. Bank loans Bank loans is a financial operation in which a party calls a lender. They leave a certain amount of money to another party calling a preserve, with access to return in the borrowing capital in the term and condition agreed in advance. In the number two, financial factoring. Factoring is a transaction in which a company share in the account receivable or invoice to a third commercial financial company, also known a factor.
Hi, I'm going to be talking about external finances. Another type of financing that use is external financing. It is generated when it isn't possible to continue working with own resources. That is, when the fund generated by normal operation plus the contribution of the owner of company are insufficient to meet the required disbursements to maintain the normal course of business. The company it is necessary to resort to third party such as bank loans, financial factory, etc. External financing is the amount obtained in cash or kind from foreign creditors and which are also runs for authorization and registration by the Ministry of Financials and Public Credit, regardless of the type of currency in which they are documented. Most lenders will not spend a lot of time discussing your needs, evaluating your business, or analyzing your transaction without a charge for such service. External source of financing provide resources that come from people, companies or institutions outside the organization that receive them. When receiving external resource, liability is being contracted with generous of financing costs called interest, which will have to be sellers, interest and capital received, in the terms of the loan contract that covered the operation. External financing sources of financing preview resources that come from people, companies or institutions outside the organization who receive them. When receive external resource availability is being hard with and generous of financing costs called interest and that will have to be liquidated interest and capital received under the terms of the contract of loan that covered the operation. Money market is a type of financing market which produce foreign in which the product of fund and the applicants or loans and investment you can directly make your transaction. He also received the name of monetary, which is established through a relationship intangible between bidder lenders and plaintiff borrowers of short-term fund with a maturity of 1 year of less unlike of the capital market whose relation are greater than 1 year.
Internal financing. It is the application of financing resources that come from the same company without resorting to external financing. The self-financing comes from the benefits obtained by the company and there are no distributions that are destined to the expansion or maintenance of the activity. Self-financing class maintains an enrichment maintenance formed by the benefits that are the retained so that the company economic capacity, the economy is the maintained, it is formed with amortization of tangible and intangible assets and provisions on elements of current assets and non-current assets. Amortization is the allocation to the profit to each financial year of the depreciation suffered in the year by non-current assets. They are costs that are deduced from the income to calculate to benefits. The provision constitute maintenance self-financing. They are amounts that when calculated the benefit are reduced from the income, which means that they have not been declared. For example, a client does not pay his debt. Enrichment formed by retaining profits to undertake new investment allow the company to grow. It is made of benefits that are not shared by members, reserves and retained in the company to make new investments. The benefit is the come through various cycles and explosions and maybe materialize in assets and rights. Distributing all the benefit could require the sale of part of the immobilized of the asset. The reserves are not remunerated, but this entails an opportunity cost and to meet the expectation on the shareholder if a company changes reserve to expectations and does not complete with them, the price of the share may fall. Advantage 1 is provides financial autonomy and reduce dependence on the financial sector fluctuation and interest rate and lot of liquidity in financial system. 2. When compared to the capital increase, it is operational, simple, and cheap. 3. Produce greater financial profitability in the company by reducing financial, banking, and administrative expenses which must be incurred with going to the financing and others. 4. If you go this source of financing, you do not have to pay taxes. 5. It has lower costs than other sources of financing. 6. Cause an increase in the book value of each share of the company that may motivate future shareholders to acquire the company's securities. Disadvantage: it can lead to the unprofitable investment compared to other rejected because they don't have sufficient resources. It can be considered gratuitously erroneous and wasteful. 2. Reduce the shareholder sign that is safe if not distributed with the consequent discount of the same. 3. Can later prevent the realization of large investment projects that are unprofitable or not having sufficient financial resources. 4. The payment of a lower dividend influences the value of the company's contribution by the shareholder since the investment does not obtain the profitability on other financial products.
For a company to carry out their normal operation as well as modernization, expansion, and growth plans, among others, they require financial resources that allow them to meet those needs. That is, they require financing. Medium-term financing is that whose maturity is no less than 1 year or and no more than 5 years. Aspect to consider at the time of select funding resources. The number 1 is the financial cost. Number 2, the maximum authorized amount. Number 3, the the third. Number 4, the amortization and financing. Number 5, the requested requirements. And finally, the seriousness of the institution that grants the financing. Okay, sources the financing medium term. With the medium term, the financing, we can find the number 1, commercial credits, number 2, bank credit, number 3, commercial paper credit and cost receivable, and invest credit and medium term credits and credits on equipment. Commercial credit is the most important and the attractive source of short-term financing to commercial companies. They giving the flexible and information and relative easy to obtain it. The risk organization from normal operation is consistent to the credit done and supply give to a company when acquires the merchandise and the allows to the way a specific time before paying it. The source uses opportunity and respectively the term and the condition degraded by the supply. They not have to any financial cost. The unit the supply offer and discount for pump payment and the company does not take an advantage or if the same it will represent an opportunity cost for it. The bank credit, like commercial credit, bank credit is another of the most important sources of financing for the company. It's the short term. It's the credit generated by the banking institution. They can adopt any following modalities. Type the credit bank is are 3. The number 1, simple credit. Number 2, credit online. Or number 3, resolving credit. Okay, the simple credit is when the company needs funds to short periods to finance a certain project and the company sees promissory role with the banks. The credit line, the company periodically needs funds to the various purposes and scenes and contract with the bank and the allows it to has credit up to and the predetermined in any time during the term of the contract. In the final is the resolving credit. It's similar to the credit line with the difference that the letter is generated by the banks assigns and legally agrees to grant loans to the company. Okay, finally, equipping credits is accounts when a company obtains credit for the financial or new equipment or the remains is collateral in the medium-term loan.
Hi, my topic is free financial. It is financing that, unlike the other forms of financing where hired no cost is acquired. This means that only the capital debt is acquired and no interest or commission will be generated for the operation performed. Only the average fee is paid without generating interest. Conclusion. To describe the role of the manager in the creation of shareholder value, it is important to emphasize that financial management in companies traditionally seeks to create value through the control of indicators such as profitability, liquidity, growth, and risk, based on the premise that it is generate value if the real performance exceeds the profitability demanded by shareholders. In this sense, managers must define a strategy to meet and exceed these requirements, provide the organization with tools to act on the proposed objectives, and monitor the performance of these activities through clearly defined indicators to different areas and adjust the required element to achieve them. In order for the manager to create value, he must maximize the investment of the shareholders, and to achieve this, he must design strategies that are aligned with his objective. For example, to think of strategies that position the company and help it to become increasingly competitive. Thank you.
I'm going to talk about choice of adequate financial structure. The choice of the appropriate financial structure, this is determination of the level of adequate indebtedness is a decision integral to the financial strategy of a company, which has been the subject of extensive theoretical discussion mainly because of the influence that it exerts on the value of the company. The most generalized position held by the financial community in relation to the relevance of the financial structure is summarized in four aspects: tax advantage of indebtedness with respect to how resources, since financial expenses are deductible but not dividends. It is only advisable in theory the use of indebtedness when the ROI exceeds the cost of the debt. From a level of indebtedness whose determination in practice is extremely complex, the cost of capital stopped decreasing and the value stopped increasing for a double reason: increase in the cost of loans and deterioration of the image in the market. Risk and cost of insolvency of financial discussions in general. Capital contribution. Advantage: reinforcement of the company own funds, contribution of the experience and know-how of an industrial investor, and the existence of potential synergies, contribution of the experience of a financial investor, venture capital fund, is in business management and finance. Disadvantage: difficult in the valuation agreement, applicable in the capital increase, represents the highest implicit cost of a financing alternative, foreign financing, banking. Advantage: there is no dilution of the current shareholders. There is no interference in the decision of the managing team. Reduce cost available financing alternative. Generate tax shield. Disadvantage: the company's debt ratio increase. Limitation of its amount based on the company's pre-existing financial level. Debt fund advantage: there is no dilution of the current shareholders. Flexible structure with longer terms and repayment bullet. Generate tax shield. Disadvantage: cost higher than bank debt but lower than capital alternative. Limitation of its amount based of the company's pre-exist financial leverage, existence of a minimum threshold of operation size. Thank you.
Modigliani Miller theorem. The theorem states that the value of a company is not affected by the way it is financed in the absence of text. Bankruptcy caused an asymmetry in the information of the agent. The theorem states that it is indifferent for a company to obtain the necessary financial resource for its operation by going to its shareholders or using debt. The dividend policy is also indifferent. How did Miller and Modigliani demonstrate its theory? What Miller and Modigliani did was compare the value of a company 1 that financing an X project with only capital and the value of another company 2 that financed the same project with a mixture of capital and debt. They showed that if the value of company 1 was greater than that of company 2, there would be an opportunity for arbitration in the market. In addition, otherwise, if the value of the company 2 was greater than 1, there would also be an opportunity for arbitration. In this way, it is demonstrated that as long as there are perfect capital markets, in the absence of arbitrage in the value of a company that is financing only with debt and another with a mixture of bad sources, they must have the same value. Proposition 1 of Miller and Modigliani, absence of text. In an environment where there are no texts, the first proposition indicates that the value of an unlevered company, BU, is equal to the value of a leveraged company, BL. Understand that the first is a firm that has no debt in its capital structure, BU equal E, while a leveraged company does have debt within its balance sheet, BL equal E plus D. It must be clear that the value of the firm is not limited only to the value of the share of the company, but that it also includes the debt contract. Example: if we buy a family pizza, we can cut it into 2 or more pieces, but the size of the pizza will remain the same, no matter how many pieces we divided it. Taking this analogy to our case, if the size of the pizza is equivalent to the value of the firm, its size, that is, the value, will remain constant whether we can to keep it whole or what is the same, only finance the company with capital, or cut it into 2 pieces, which will imply, in the example of the value of the firm, taking debt and capital in its balance sheet. To conclude the mass intervention, it is important to emphasize that the Miller and Modigliani theory owes its importance to the fact that its excellent logic is also deductible to the cost of capital, that is, to the cost of financing capital and debt. In conclusion, assuming perfect capital market, the percentage of capital and debt that we assume to carry out an investment project will not affect the value of our company or the capital cost of it. Thank you.